All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Derek. I'm the artistic director of Sidelines Entertainment, as well as the producer for Lord of the Flies, and 2016 that was produced in 2016, and we are going to be actually premiering that production on YouTube very, very soon. The 2016 production of Lord of the Flies, and so what we're doing is we're doing a series of chats with different people of our company leading up to the show. And today I have with me our creative team, and I'd love to introduce them to you. First up, we do have James Tan, our lighting designer. Hello. And we also have our set designer who also won Best Set Designer at the 2017 Live Theatre Awards, Mr. Wong Chee Wai.
Hi.
And also we do have, my partner in crime, my good friend and collaborator, who is an award-winning director, who's also the artistic director of Grand Space Theatre and the director of 2016 Lord of the Flies production, Samantha Scott Blackhall.
Yay!
And finally, I'd love to introduce my good friend, my partner in crime at Sidelines Productions, my co-producer of Lord of the Flies, who will also be facilitating today's chat, Angie Ho.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to see all of you again. I don't think I've seen James or Chee Wai or Samantha for, years. It could be years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been 4 years since we did Lord of the Flies together. That was also the year straight after I gave birth to my very first son. So that's how long it's been. To kick off, I'd like to just to jog our memories. If Derek could stand by, we're going to just play a quick trailer that kind of showcases a little bit of the production for you. To see a bit of the set, the lighting, just so that it triggers some memories for us before we go into it. And are you ready with that, Derek?
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
Cool.
Here we go.
My name's Samantha Scott Blackhall. I am the director of Lord of the Flies. Lord of the Flies is based on a book by William Golding and adapted to stage by Nigel Williams. The premise of the play is that a plane carrying a bunch of school boys on a trip somewhere crashes on a deserted island. And on this deserted island, these kids have to survive until they are rescued.
Hello, my name is Ghafir Akbar and I play Ralph.
I'm Lim Kay Siu playing Piggy.
And I'm Erwin Ismail. I play Simon.
So Ralph sort of becomes the leader that gets appointed by the group.
Piggy is Ralph's friend. They make friends very early, and Piggy is smart and he's logical, but he's weak.
Well, Simon is this physically frail, somewhat shy, but he's known to many as someone that's good-natured.
Well, the most exciting part about this play is that we are transforming the SOTA Studio Theatre into a jungle because it's set on a deserted island, on a beach, in the jungle, on a cliff. Lord of the Flies is dark, it's funny, it's tragic, it's hilarious. The experience is really immersive, so it's just something you don't want to miss.
So please join us at Lord of the Flies, opening 25th of March and runs through 3rd of April.
At the SOTA Studio Theatre.
So don't forget to get your tickets at keetix.com.
See you there.
See ya.
Nice, thank you. Wow. James and Chee Wai, I'm really, really dying to hear, just watching the video and everything. What comes to your head immediately? Anyone?
Wong, go, Mr. Wong.
Yeah.
I can't remember. It's like, how many cartons do we have? I think 18, 19 cartons of leaves.
We got about 15.
Yeah, and it's just leaves. 15 or 18?
I can't remember. Around there. I'm supposed to be.
Is there a difference?
I can't remember. Yeah.
Too many.
No, there's no difference. Yeah.
And that's 15 cartons from Sao Paulo.
Yes.
Right? And then Chee Wai had to go and decide which leaves he would be able to put together Macam Fari's Flora to make this set is a jungle.
Yes, it's all your fault.
Basically, artificial landscaping.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, we're jumping the gun, and we can talk. We can later go into details, right, Angie? But I think when I saw when we were planning for the bump in schedule, which is the setup in theater, I was like, for the first time, we can only build the set in the theater, which is usually we will build it beforehand. And so I think this was a really great, interesting experience for us all. But I think we can maybe talk about that later. Maybe James want to share what your thoughts are.
Me, I don't really remember much though. I just remember I was just texting Chee Wai this morning. I was like, remember I had to take the gardener's teaser, and because like Rob, our boy is there. Yeah, so it works on a tension grid system. So all the leaves I think there was a giant canopy of leaves that were rigged onto the tension grid. So, but then a lot of them were in the way of the lights. So I recall having to focus the lights, but then after that, the net went up. Then I had to look for all the points where the leaves were in the way of the lights. Then I went to cut. So I was doing some gardening work as well.
So it sounds like there's a lot of we all were talking about our leaves at the moment, which I appreciate was the hardest part of it. Technically was most difficult. But, aside from leaves, let's put the shearing aside, is there anything else, or any other immediate memories of the play that you think about, or that kind of comes to you as, something nostalgic, or that still kind of hits you whenever you think about this play, other than leaves?
Wow. Chee Wai?
I'm trying to recall.
It was mostly leaves.
No, we also have
it was mostly leaf
and the what's that called, the alphabet mats. What is it? Is it the cushion the floor?
What's that? The interlocking ones, is it?
Yes, the interlocking ones.
I can't remember. It was originally supposed to be some nursery baby prevention cushioning mat kind of things.
Yes.
Yeah, just that we had used it for
the flooring,
for our flooring. And also because the other thing I can remember was we originally were talking about sand, and then discovered that we cannot use sand in the space. So in the end, the floor was actually painted to look like sand, but there wasn't a single speck of sand on the floor. That was what I recall. And what else? Some of the set pieces are actually, as the platforms, are kind of like recycled, if I remember correctly. And then we have a huge team of volunteers at the point of time. Yes. I think we have a team of around close to
30?
40.
30. Oh, really? I thought it was double that. Because it was like every day was different people.
Yeah.
Because it was staggering. So every time when I come in, or when we first started working on the canopy, which is at our Yingjiang new workshop at the point of time, that was about, I think throughout the days I only have about 10 to 12. So my memory keeps thinking that it's around maybe 12 to 15 at a point of time, because of the staggering and different schedules.
Yeah, definitely a massive undertaking, but the obviously the results speak for themselves, and it was indeed a really immersive space, And Chee Wai, I just wanted to ask you, I don't think we ever had this conversation, but how did you? Okay, I know you drew inspiration from nature, obviously, but can you tell us, how did you form that concept, or that the whole design element of it? Where did you get the inspiration from, or what motivated you to lead in that direction?
I think in the first place, when Sam and I talked about it, Sam's first statement was, "I want a forest." So so thereafter, she said yes. Her dad was she wanted forest in SOTA studio.
I remember.
So the next question was, I just straight away turn to Derek and say, do we have the money? Then because at the point of time, even though we kind of know that at that point of time, Taobao things are much cheaper than it used to be, than it is now. It's going to require enormous amount of raw materials. So I can't remember what budget we have been working on, but there was this crazy searching for different kind of foliage, the ones that most probably will appear in maybe a jungle in Malaysia or something like that. So on that part of it, we have decided that all the plants that we want is certainly more like tropical plants, tropical leaves, rather than something from a climate country. Yeah. So other than I think we should phase out because there's very specific requirements like having to fit in, was it 220 audience?
That
in that space. So after we took out the space that we need to fit the audience even on stage, then that was when we discovered that actually the real acting space we had was very small. That was what I recall. Yeah, and then how we cram, not cram, but how we create different space in different scenes. Without, I mean, of course, there's no way of doing scene change, and but yet have a very different feel to it. Yeah. So that is basically what I can still remember of right now, I guess. Yeah.
Thanks for that. And James, I know that the set definitely affected the lighting, like you said.
Oh yeah.
So how did you work with that? You tell us a bit about how that collaboration process that led you to the final design.
It was quite fluid. I remember it was quite fluid because as we were setting up the plants, and then every day we come in, got another plant here, got more leaves. So I recall because I think there are seats by the sides. I'm looking at the plan now. I think there are like maybe 12, 2 rows of 12 seats. Huh?
24,
I think. 20. Yeah, so I recall having to chat with Chee Wai about, because we were playing it's a 3-sided audience, but yet we are working with a director who always says, James, why is it so bright? Let's have something more interesting here. Let's have this is like, it has to be scary. So then there needed to be a lot of side light or low lighting angles. But then there's this whole 1.5 fire safety distancing. So I recall having to speak to Mr. Wong Chee Wai to say, we need to put lights under the audience seat. Do you remember that, Mr. Wong?
Yes. Yeah. That was when we decided.
So our fabulous crew from SOTA needed to prone under the audience seats to focus the lights. And that was interesting. I recall having to chop off a few branches as well of Wong Chee Wai's tree by the side. Because it was so immersive, there was tree trunk by the side of the main audience sitting area too. So that was interesting. I recall asking Samantha Scott Blackhall when there's a line like, hey, look at it, Stan, blue sea, look at it. There's no one there. I turned to her, it's like, Stan, where's the sea? Then we have to imagine, okay, where they are looking towards is the sea. There is a hill there. Each time we go from a scene change to another scene change is a new location. How do we set that location based on the blocking and just a subtle change in lighting? And then one last thing is really just, we were working on a very tight time frame, and there was no additional budget for rental of lights. So we actually had to be quite creative in terms of getting shafts of light through the very dense foliage, so that instead of looking like you're in a theater, it looks like it's nature. It looks like sunlight coming through, beams of light coming through leaves. Yeah. So that's my memory of Lord of the Flies.
Thanks for that. Samantha, do you have anything to add on just in your defense? Or I'm just kidding. But,
No, I can't defend myself because, no, I mean, I've worked with James and Chee Wai so many years. And I'm so fortunate to be always working with them because they really are the dream team for me. And I always remember whenever I meet Chee Wai, he will say, "So is this one of the plays that we'll do a minimal set?" He's always asking me to do something like, "Can we just have a chair or just have a table?" And it's like, no, not this one. I mean, all our plays together have been quite detailed and elaborate because he just he just puts his everything into it, and it just, it's incredible. We were turning SOTA into that jungle, and then the richness comes from James' lighting. So the one thing I always say to James, so Chee Wai is always like, "No, this is not a minimal set." And that's an understatement. And then with James, it's how many lighting cues can you give me? Right or not, James?
Yes, dude, that would be like, do we really need that, Sam? Then she's like, yes. I was like, okay, lock it in.
And
so,
also,
I love the challenge. Huh?
And also, can we go darker, right? That's also
yes. Can we go darker?
But for a reason, she's not saying go darker for no reason.
Of course.
That's right.
There are very, very many moments that we try to create some kind of fear, some kind of tension that we can only do with very dim lighting stage.
Yeah.
The great thing is, Chee Wai will come up with that design right before rehearsal starts. So we know exactly what kind of space we are working with. And I know how to, I always like to fully utilize a space and just make sure that people are seeing new things all the time. So once we're working with that space and those very different levels or aspects of it, then James can then craft in a way a film eye to it. So make sure we're not seeing everything at the same time all the time. We're just really focusing in. So that's one thing we do to make sure that you're not you're full of surprises in the set and you're changing location all the time, because we had a beach. We had the sea, we had by the beach, we had a cliff, we had in the middle of the jungle, we had the tree where the beast tree was, and then where the boys get lost. So we had at least six locations on the island just in that one set, crafted out with the set design and the lighting and the sound. Obviously, Jane's not here, but the sound really moves you to those places too.
Beautiful. And I think we talked about, having all these elements come together to really immerse the audience in the space, in the play. So, oftentimes, sometimes we go to theater, we still know it's a theater, right? We see the frame. We know that, the set ends at a certain point. But in this instance, in this play, the spectacular thing was that the literally, like what James said, it was a growing forest inside the theater. So how did we come to that decision of enveloping even the ceiling, even the walkways? So if I remember, audience walkways. So how did that come about? Was that already from the beginning, decided from the beginning, or was that organic?
That was from the beginning, Chee Wai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but what I recall was we wanted to create a space, but at the same time, I think we didn't want to give out the space from the point of time the audience at the theater. So from the entrance point to before they reach the forest, they actually can't see anything because we have blocked out the view from the passageway. So it's only when they turn into the corner where they go onto the set space, then they they get almost the whole picture of the forest. That's what I remember. Yeah.
I remember we played with the rig as well, didn't we?
There was
like
a
we spent
parachute
a lot of time deciding how low the rig was above the audience's head. Yeah, and then there was the parachute. But
Then there were certain things that we planned beforehand. Like there was actually a fire, Mr. Wong. If you remember, we actually did a fire.
Yeah, so the one that got very moldy at the end of the show. Yes.
Yeah, and people wouldn't know that there was a cliff that Piggy would get pushed towards the edge until that moment happened. So those were all planned ahead of time, but it's more of Sam deciding where those locations are and revealing to the audience with each evolving scene.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm going to throw you guys like a kind of a different question here, just moving a little bit into the fantasy space, because we talked about, I don't know if you guys were involved in this conversation before we actually decided on SOTA and doing it in the theater. There was, we talked about doing it outdoors in an actual like jungle or I mean some kind of space that resembled that, so I was just wondering like, let's just play Dare to Dream here especially for you designers, right? If you were able to do that in an outdoor space surrounded, in its actual, like whatever, like in a foresty area or whatever that is, what is kind of the top things that you would implement in your design if we had to if we had to change the whole concept again?
As in to a real outdoor space.
Yeah. I mean, if you just dream big here, because the budget is like unlimited.
Totally, it's virtual.
I mean, if it's a real outdoor space, I think quite a few things we couldn't really achieve is that because first of all the foliage is fake, so other than plastic smell, there's really nothing. So what we have missed out is like the smell of the soil, the whether things like the humidity in the air, and like especially in tropical forest, when you venture long enough, the kind of stickiness on your skin. These are things that we couldn't actually explore in the theater with the audience, yeah. But of course, in this case, it's a truly immersive because you will feel everything, including the insects. Yeah.
That's a good point. What about James?
Yeah.
Real fire, like hand torches, like fire.
Yes.
Burn leaves. The production value just looks very different. I was just watching Frankenstein, National Theatre, and it's like, just a flame in the hand looks so atas. So real fire, definitely. But it's a bit hard for lighting because there are different times of day in this play, very, very different times of day. So in order not to make it look like, it's Gardens by the Bay, it's going to be very hard to light outdoors. But I think more suited for set lah. But it'll be interesting, it'll be a good challenge. Definitely a lot more practicals, fire and things like that.
And I'm going to throw the question to Sam as well, because that was the original fantasy, wasn't it? Sam and Derek.
Yeah.
How would you do it differently?
I mean, it would be different anyway, but I think what's super important for me would be how to keep it intimate whilst being outdoors, because as the play progresses, you feel like their world gets smaller and smaller and smaller, even though you've discovered more and more of the island. So I think the challenge would be being able to achieve that whilst, this is a very tough question because you just have to totally conceive it differently. Actually, the scare factor would be more there because, there's real birds and real insects and who knows, you can kind of, you can do more surprises, I think, when you're in the outdoor, you know what I mean? Because the audience really don't know what to expect. It's a more vulnerable, high-stake place. So I don't know. It's a good question.
I could see James and Chee Wai when Sam was talking, your eyes were like, you were like so excited. As if this is a real production. going to happen.
Are we doing one in future in the outdoors?
Why not?
What about Derek? Challenges of outdoor production or any, dreams? Sorry, dreams, not challenges.
Dreams, challenges. It was big challenge. I can name them all.
Oh.
I think it's a real challenge, and that's something that we've dealt with the last time round. And all of a sudden, you have to deal with all the different agencies. NEA will come and tell you that not NEA. What is that? That tree people and parks. 1 meter apart from their tree, every tree, whatever kind of thing. Then SPF comes and tell me there's killing in your play. How are you going to kill the boy? And I'm like, it's acting. So and then and SCDF come and tell you need to tent up and kind of seal up everything because people, people may walk into it and stuff like that. So, there's a lot of challenges. But the dream, I think it's like what Samantha said. It was really, I think for me, when I thought about that, it was going to be very immersive. It's going to be a little bit like the scare factors. Not really a haunted house, but that kind of feel to it. And then I have this fantasy of wherever the audience is seated, maybe in a round or whatever, around them, it gets lit and fire is burning around them, kind of thing. So I don't know. This those
would be like magic. Yeah.
Yeah. So those were some fantasies. Yeah, which
it's
obviously
beautiful.
Come true.
Yeah. Okay, so let's come back to real life now. So, looking back at the play now, you guys have seen a little bit of the video and just kind of remembering what the design looked like and how the process was. If you had to go back and if you could change one thing, to make it better, of course, what would it be for everyone here in this call? James, I see you smiling.
I will have real fire. I will get the
real fire.
Real fire in the space. I recall we had a long conversation about that because it's
very long.
It is said that the fire gets bigger. But we're like, how do we make it look? Yeah. So, but I think we still made it work eventually with lights and some special effects.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks to the SOTA crew then, who were very helpful as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Chee Wai?
I think for me is the beef tree because that time there was quite a few restriction or something because of I think the lighting distance behind the tree and where I can read the tree, which I have points to read and things like that. So for me, when I first imagined the beef tree, it was supposed to be much more scary and a bit more transformative in a way like the branches can move. But the staging that we had, basically everything is stationary. Yeah. So that was one thing that I kind of hope to achieve that the branches of the beech tree can kind of move or sway a little bit, so that this sense of horror or this sense of uncertainty, things going to happen kind of feeling more threatening. Yeah.
Hey, thanks for that.
Sam and Derek. Yeah, I would ask Chee Wai to make it rain.
Oh yeah.
That would be make it what? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Make it rain.
I like that.
Because I mean, okay, totally. I don't know then what happens. Like, how do the actors cope after that? Change your costume, whatever. But I don't know. Hey, it rains in the jungle.
Yeah.
In the morning.
Real fire, real rain.
Yeah.
Real fire, real rain.
So on that note, I will fulfill all your fantasies and say that we should do this in a whole kind of hangar or warehouse so you can fulfill all your fantasies. How I wish we have such spaces like that in Singapore, and our authorities are a little bit more open to such things. Till then, we have SOTA Studio Theatre.
Thanks very much, Derek. So can you tell us a little bit more about when this is showing and all the detail? When can we catch the play?
Yeah, so the 2016 production of Lord of the Flies will be premiering on 29th of May, Friday, on YouTube at Sightlines Entertainment channel. And the link you will be able to find that in the description below this video. So do check out the link, and do also set your reminders on YouTube so that you will not miss out on the premiere. And I think with that, I just want to really thank Samantha, James, and Chee Wai so much for your time, for being here and sharing these lovely, precious memories, and also Angie for facilitating.
That's right.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.